Hello, welcome to Sound Bites. I'm your host, Holly Whitfield from the Daily Memphian. I'm here today with my friend Stacey Greenberg, editor of Edible Memphis magazine, a longtime food writer in Memphis and beyond. Also the author of Where Should I Eat? Is that the name of the email?
It is, but I have really kind of fallen off lately, so I'm getting back to it.
She's getting back to her Where Should I Eat email, but she's got really good reasons why we're going to talk about them today. This is Sound Bites. It is the Daily Memphian's weekly food, drink, and dining podcast. It's a part of our free podcast series at the Daily Memphian. Also, please make sure you're not missing out on any old episodes of Sound Bites. We have some really good ones from the last year plus. You can hear the newest ones, though, every week on Crosstown's radio station WYXR, Thursdays at 11. If you're listening on WYXR right now, up next, please tune in to the Sidebar podcast with our Daily Memphian CEO, Eric Barnes, talking to arts and culture figures in Memphis. Last week on Soundbites, though, we finished up a two-part series with some of your friends, people you know, Stacey, Amy Lawrence, and Justin Foxburks, chubby vegetarian cookbook authors, photographers, general foodies. Have you gotten to do a shoot with them in their studio? They're like crazy downtown Food Network style cooking studio.
I have not. I know what building it is, and I've kind of seen them in passing, but I have not been in the studio. I imagine it's amazing.
Well, I'm sure that will happen one day. It's a Memphis thing. I think it will happen. Thank you so much for being here. We're coming in here. We're recording this. The Great Thaw has pretty much happened. It's happening. There's still these big, weird, like, dirty ice mountains.
I know, like, how long are they going to be there?
It's a long time.
They're going to be there so long. They're never going to melt.
I keep making the joke to myself. I'm like, the mountains of West Tennessee. And, like, it's funny to me.
Which
but
one is Mount Moriah?
I think it's on Mount Moriah. Like, I think it's in the parking lot of Gus's or something. How did you survive the winter weather apocalypse?
Well, luckily we live on a fairly busy street, so people were driving enough to where we were able to get out just a little bit, like to go to Alex's around the corner.
That's such a great place to have around the corner in a winter weather apocalypse.
He's not going to close no matter what. So we did get out a tiny bit, but it was a lot of being home. Yeah.
And did you do some cooking?
I did a little cooking. I just got back from Italy, and we were watching, it was an old Bobby Flay. Him and Giotto were in Italy, and I was just like, I'm going to make some cacio e pepe. Because that was the first thing actually ever on our first, like the first time I cooked for my husband when we were dating. I made him cacio e pepe.
Nice.
And I thought I could just like wing it, but I didn't really have the right noodle, and I didn't have the right cheese, and it was not edible. So that was a major fail.
It was not edible, Memphis.
It was not. It was so bad.
The spin-off mag.
Yeah, it was like a big clump. It was gross. But then the next day, I redeemed myself. I made a red sauce, and our neighbor had given us some really good sausage at Christmas. Got it out of the freezer. Really, the freezer came in handy for sure.
Yeah.
And so, I did a lot of pasta and cookies, but not too much because I had definitely planned ahead and gotten like a 12-piece from Gus's on that Friday before the weather came in. So
smart.
That got us through a couple of days,
I was not planning ahead very well, and I got trapped in the Walgreens pharmacy line on like Friday night for a long time, Midtown, and I survived that. Or maybe I've just blocked it out. It's fine either way. And I was driving home and I saw I think it was 8:30. And I was like, the Fresh Market here in Midtown is still open. Let's see. Let's see. It wasn't. It actually wasn't wiped out. And all of the staff, I'm glad we brought this up because I have wanted to say this. The staff at the Fresh Market, and I know it's Fresh Market, so you're paying for it, but like they are so nice. At the Midtown one, at the one off White Station in East Memphis, the guy was like, I'm so sorry you had to wait to like get this meat. I'm like, I'm fine. I'm really glad that you guys have anything. But like they had a lot of stuff. They didn't have everything. And that got us through the winter weather, which went on for longer than I thought possible. We cooked a lot of different stuff. We had some chili. We had some pasta too. I think that's funny, though, because sometimes you're like, here's a recipe. I don't have the right kind of whatever, and you substitute whatever, and it works out great.
That's like my favorite thing is to not have one thing and then substitute, and it's a hit. And I do that all the time, and like I love it. But this was I did not You just can't fake cacio e pepe.
No, not every time. Okay, well, we are also recording this right after the large game, the big contest, the Superb Owl, the Super Bowl. Did you do anything for that? What is your...
The only reason I look forward to the... Can we say the name of it? I mean,
yeah.
Okay. The only reason I look forward to Super Bowl Sunday is so I can eat buffalo chicken dip. And so I made some buffalo chicken dip. And I didn't really shred it the best. So my husband kind of was like, this is more like chicken with hot sauce on it. So nothing a little immersion blender couldn't fix. But that was pretty much it.
Immersion blender for the win, though. I went to my second annual Super Bowl party where everyone brought soups. We did it like Soup Sunday.
That's amazing.
Like youth villages, and people brought different ones. We had a creamy tomato basil. That's what we brought. We had like a beef and vegetable. We had a clam chowder. That was excellent. We had a red beans and rice, which is...
I have had that conversation. Is that a soup or is it not a soup?
You know, someone made it and it was really good. And they also made cornbread and no one asked a lot of questions
That's right.
at the time. And we had a good chili. I feel like we were missing like either like a chicken tortilla kind of soup or a taco soup or some other kind of more brothy one, like a chicken orzo, Greek chicken stars. But maybe I could get off my bottom and then make some soup next year.
I'm not hearing any like pho or ramen or chicken coconut soup. We just had the Edible Memphis championship soup contest. So I did a lot of soup eating in January, and it's still on our website if you want to go look. But our winning soup was Takashi Bistro, their coconut chicken soup, which is delicious.
Yes.
And then we also, Caminos de Michoacan, their pozole was a winner. And then the judge's choice was, that was judge's choice, the Caminos. And then the most tag soup was Juiced What You Needed. They did it's called chicken soup for the chi. And they made some dumplings that were amazing, and it had lots of mushrooms in there, and it felt very like healthy, and it was awesome. But there were tons of delicious soups in that contest if you're a soup fan.
I have a bunch of questions about the soup contest.
Okay.
How many soups were in the contest? How many restaurants entered?
So we do it like we've done several championships. We started with iced coffee, then we did mocktails. Normally in January we do mocktails, but like I just don't really think it's reasonable to be sober anymore in January with the political climate.
Sure.
But but mocktails have become more ubiquitous, and they're just not, So anyway, we switched to soup.
Yeah, just switch it up.
Yeah, so we did the cozy issue. We really leaned into soup, and so it's 16 restaurants. We do a bracket. It takes place over 31 days. And restaurants can also win either by having people come in and take a picture and they tag it, so it's most tagged. And then we have like secret judges, and then anyone who tries all 16 soups can cast a vote as a judge. And so there were a lot of hurdles this year. I mean, the weather, like 10 days of kind of like ended. It wasn't like a big finish because it was really hard to get out. But
did you have any of the judges try all 16 this year? Or?
Yeah. We had several people who. I mean, one woman who literally like every day, one soup a day, and became a judge on the 17th. So I was like, that's really the way to do it.
Yeah.
So I was out of the country.
Thank you to her.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I probably would have attempted to do it more like that. I had to do a lot of making up, and then wasn't able to actually get a couple of them. Like Amelia Jean's had this delicious like lobster, half Thai lobster soup, but then they couldn't get their lobster shipment.
Yes, I heard about this.
So I wasn't able to try that one. And then I didn't get
lobster too tender, soup too buttery.
And then I didn't make it to the lobbyist either. They called Big Bean Energy. And that was actually like second. The judges were like, it was kind of a tie between Caminos and lobbyist. And we had to do a tiebreaker. Sorry, Jimmy. But no, there were so many good ones.
He's had a good month. He'll be okay.
He did. I was like, he's going to be okay. He's going to be okay.
Okay, the winning soups. So, Juiced What You Needed.
Mm-hmm. That was most tagged.
Walk us through going to Juiced What You Needed. Where is it? What is it like? Because it looks very cute.
Oh, my gosh.
On the internet. And I haven't been yet. And also, was it dumplings like chicken and dumplings or dumplings like Asia dumplings?
Well... in the description they gave us, so Stephanie, so it's T-Pay and Stephanie are the owners.
Yes.
And the description said that Stephanie was like leaning into her Italian roots, and like the noodle part of the dumpling was kind of like an Italian flag, but to me, it was much more Asian tasting to me. But anyway, so it's on Main Street. It's across from Central Station, kind of a little further down than the arcade. And it is just like an oasis. I mean, she's got all these plants. They're like real plants, and they're like out in front of the shop. I was there on Friday when the sun finally came out, and I was like, I know exactly where I want to go. And I sat outside in the sun and ate their delicious food. But there's just tons of plants. It's very tropical. If you have ever been to Costa Rica, it is like being in Costa Rica, and that is where they got their that's what inspired them. And Stephanie has hand painted a lot of the stuff. She's gotten stuff at antique stores, and really just she is very talented. Now
I saw their prayer plants on the internet, which are those like stripy ones that move throughout the day, and I was very jealous.
Yeah, so it's just very tropical feeling, very relaxed, colorful. It's really great vibes, and they named it Juice What You Needed because they started with burritos.
Yes.
And then they moved into juice at the farmer's market, and then now they're doing like a full menu. It's a full cafe. They have a lot of like healthy offerings. Rice and beans, and he does this really amazing savory oatmeal, and they have like yogurt bowls, and it's awesome. And it's kind of like everything starts where it's maybe vegetarian, you can have chicken added, or you can add tofu.
Yeah.
It's kind of like they're catering to all types. So you could be meat eater, vegan, whoever, everyone could go in with their special dietary needs and enjoy something at Juiced What You Needed. And they're just really lovely people, and it's just so chill and happy in there. I love it.
That sounds wonderful. That was really my main question. Like, can I go in there and get like a meal?
Yes.
That's
you can get breakfast,
so
lunch,
clutch for me.
breakfast, lunch, and I believe they're staying open for dinner 2 nights. I think Thursday's one of them. I'm not sure. Maybe is it Monday and Thursday? But yeah, you can get all the meals there, and it's also you can have coffee, tea, juices, and if you wanted to take your laptop in there, you could. I mean, I don't know why you'd want to like put work in that place because it's just so like relaxing. But if you need a very relaxing place, you could take your laptop. But I would say take a friend, sit down
instead of a laptop.
And the one thing
type on them. No.
And one other thing I want to mention, which is very rare these days, is there's no plastic in there. Like you go in, it's like real glasses, real water pitchers, real napkins, real forks. The bowls are like handmade locally, and even if you get like juice, you can get like a glass juice thing where you bring it back and they'll refill it, and they're just doing everything right.
We're going to get to this a little bit later on, where we're going to talk about some disappointing trends we've seen in restaurants. No names, just vibes, just thoughts. Okay, but let's talk about some nice things first. Again, last time you were on last year, if you are listening to this streaming on the dailymemphian.com, which I know there's millions of you just like on the website streaming, listening to this, I'll link to that episode. But last time you had come back from a trip to Mexico City. And now you've recently come back from Italy. Yeah. You went with your son.
Yes.
Okay, tell us about it. Tell us about some of your favorite things you ate. I know it would probably be a whole series of podcasts worth from looking at your internet, but
well, I do want to preface this by saying, like, I am not some like globe-trotting person. I mean, before we went to Mexico, I hadn't been out of the country in like 20 plus years, and so it really made me get excited about traveling again. And my son is about to graduate in May, and he was like, I'm going to be so busy. I'm going to get a job as soon as I graduate. All the things a mom wants to hear. And he's like, so we should
graduate
go
from college.
Yeah. So he's like, we should go somewhere over the break.
That is so sweet.
And he had briefly been in Rome in the spring. He'd gone to visit his girlfriend who was studying in Barcelona, and they went to Rome for the weekend. And he told me that he felt so guilty the whole time he's there because he knew that I would love it so much. Oh. And like he really wanted to go with me. And so we planned this trip to go in January. And I really I felt very overwhelmed because I hadn't been to Europe and I really didn't know anything. And I was just sort of like very excited, but also not doing any planning whatsoever. And I had actually, so a friend of mine, Sabina Bachman, who I know from, she owns Echo and Tonica and Libra with her sons, and she has moved to Italy. And she was here, I think it's been a couple years, but they were having a party at Echo celebrating one of their anniversaries, and I can't remember if it was like 10, 15. It was a big anniversary. And she was telling me how she had just retired, and she bought this house, and it had several apartments in it, and she had olive trees, and she was just describing her town, and I was literally like, tears were streaming down my face. I mean, it just sounded magical.
You're like, I'm not okay right now.
Yeah, and she was like, you should come visit. And I was like, I would love to come visit, because she has like 4 apartments in her house, and anyway, so fast forward to I already have a plane ticket. I have no plans. I was at Tonica having lunch, and JP, I told him, I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to Italy with my son. He was like, you better call my mom, and so I reached out to Sabina, and we ended up staying with her for the first part of our trip. She picked us up at the airport, and we stayed at her beautiful house and did all the things in her town. She drove us to all these other little towns, and it was amazing.
That's the way to do it.
Oh my God, it was so awesome. It was actually cold and rainy, but
who cares?
It didn't matter. Oh my God. And so she showed us around, and she had also kind of helped plan the rest of our trip. And so she had come up with a very loose itinerary for us, which is just what I need. It was the perfect amount of scheduling, but not scheduled. And so, so we spent 3 days with her. And the awesome thing about that is at their restaurants here, every 6 months or so, they send one of their employees to go stay with Sabina.
Yeah.
As a thank you for being an awesome employee or whatever. And so I even had talked to MC and Cherie and how is it, and so I was really, really excited to go, and it did not disappoint. I can only imagine what it's like in the spring, but it was amazing. And so after we left Umbria, we went to Bologna, which, oh my God, magical food city, and then we went to Modena, which I had never even heard of, and I was actually calling it Modena until someone told me how to pronounce it. But that's the home of Ferrari and balsamic vinegar, and Massimo Bottura has
just good stuff.
5-star Michelin. Yeah, and we actually stayed right next door to this really famous indoor market, which was just the market of your dreams. And from there we went to Rome, and people talk about gelato, and I have never really understood the magical qualities of gelato until I was in the streets of Rome and literally eating 3 a day. And,
we better get some more. We better increase our sample size.
Yeah. So we just had so much fun. We did so much walking and eating and exploring. And Giro is he's an excellent navigator. He knows how to read a map. He knows how to book a train on an app. And, and so I was really just following him around, and it was.
Isn't that nice?
It was amazing.
You've trained him up well. All your years of dining with monkeys.
I know.
The monkeys are driving the train.
I know. It was all that hard work paid off. And he's a really easygoing young man, and very, adventurous. And so we just really had the best time. I don't think I annoyed him too much. He did not annoy me at all. We had a great time.
I love that. That made me really happy when I was watching you share about it on your Instagram. And another thing that I noticed you shared that I wanted to bring up, going back to 2025, you had best bites of 2025. You counted down. And if you missed it on Daily Memphian, we had food writer Ellen Chamberlain and me and several other staffers share their favorite bites. So go back and find that little article on Daily Memphian. But also check out Stacey's. So you have you have 19 of these on here, and you did say you had a disclaimer to the best bites that you had posted.
Right. The disclaimer was the best bites that I had a really good picture of.
Yeah. That's a problem I ran into as well. I had to ask my friend, did you take a picture of that skate, the fish that we had at Acre at this big party that I was helping host and didn't have time to take pictures at? And it wasn't a great picture, but it was a great dish.
Yeah.
So what did you leave off of your list?
Well, so sometimes I do actually like to just go out and eat and enjoy the people I'm with and not take pictures of every course. But
bless it.
Definitely before we went to Mexico last year at Amelia Jean's, they do special tasting menus on Thursdays, and they switch it up month to month. And so they had done a tasting menu because Nate, who's the chef, and Jessica, his wife, they had just recently been to Mexico too. And so they did sort of a tasting from their travels in Mexico, and that was really amazing. I know that I loved every single thing, but I don't have any pictures that I could find, so.
That's okay. We forgive you. You gave us 19 other things. You have the Krusty Boys from the Secret Smash Society pop-up.
Yeah.
That's a burger. That's a smash burger, right?
Yes.
The Slap Noodles.
Another
by Good
pop-up.
Fortune.
Yeah.
Another pop-up. Yeah, the pop-ups. They're going to get you. What's another one? You've got...
the next one was a bowl from Juice What You Needed. They have a yogurt bowl with deliciousness in it that I like to get, and it's called Monkey Business. I never get the name right, but that, and then Payne's. Yes, Payne's, because I did a barbecue tour with Heather and Bryant Bain, and we revisited a lot of barbecue shops because they hadn't really been to any of them, and
they don't have time. They have too many restaurants.
And like going to Payne's, I mean, it was like a spiritual experience. I mean, like I think Bryant got like a little choked up, and like in the video we did, because we were just really having fun goofing around, but Payne's was really like, it just feels like you're at someone's house and you're in their backyard and they are treating you like family, and so definitely that one.
Payne's is one of your perennial favorites for sure. But on this list, what did you put on this list for Payne's? Let's see. Everything. Everything.
Yeah, it's like, the best bites were everything.
The best bites were everything.
Yeah, for sure.
Smoked sausage.
Ribs.
Yeah.
There was a sausage. Yeah.
Pulled pork.
Pulled pork sandwich, bologna sandwich, beans, everything. There's nothing bad at Payne's, in my opinion.
All right. These are good. Everyone go look.
But this one, though, which I feel like this is, I kind of like really tried for carbonated iced coffee to be a thing. And even though Comeback Coffee, like they do coffee soda, it's not really the same as just what I was trying to make people embrace. And that's how I feel about these Bear and Bull Bakery, like bagel bites. It's like the inside of the bagel, like they're like donut holes, but bagel holes. I'm like obsessed with them. And they're the most delicious thing. She was at the Memphis Farmers Market last year. And she would sell out and you order ahead, whatever, but like really, really into the bagel bites.
Where can you get them? Bear and Bull Bakery.
Yeah. She is a stay-at-home mom, homeschooling mom, and she, has a
cottage bakery.
Cottage bakery, yes, thank you. So I don't think she's doing it now, but I would expect when springtime rolls around, she'll be back at the farmer's market.
That might be something we can follow up with.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yes.
That's why we do these things, to discover, to learn. This is the reading rainbow of dining. No, I'm just kidding. I wish it was. That would be my goal. Speaking of something light and beautiful and rainbow and butterflies, we're going to go in the opposite direction right now. We're taking a sharp left turn today on Soundbites. This is Stacey Greenberg, editor of Edible Memphis, for now until we're done with this segment. No, I'm just kidding. It's going to be nice. Let's talk about, I always want to talk about trends, but sometimes it's a little too spicy. You don't want to like really call out local restaurants. We know all the, uphill battles that small businesses, whatever their industry, are facing. But sometimes that's just a disturbing trend, and I don't want to see it anymore. I'll go first. I know you have a short list, but I'll go first.
Because you have a long list.
I have a short list too, really. It's not that long. Okay, but I'll go first. We're going to just talk about a couple of trends that maybe we're just done with. Let's say that.
We would just like to see something different.
Let's see something different. Like, we've had our fill of these things. Let's stop doing them and do something else.
By virtue of being a trend, it has an end.
It has an end.
And we're ready for the end.
Yep. There's no trend without an end, we hope. Okay. The first one for me is the fake apology social media post. And I think part of the reason this gets my goat a little bit is because of my experience doing social media management. And sometimes you got to jump on a trend and you got to do the trending sound and you got to do the silly video and you got to do it, and it definitely gets attention, and this one definitely works. And I've talked about this to people and they didn't really know what I was talking about. It's when you see a post and it's got like a black background. It's usually on Instagram, but it could be on other platforms, and it's like, we're so sorry, we've been thinking a lot and we really want to tell you that we apologize for having the best peanut butter and jelly sandwich that you could ever eat. And it's been going on for a couple years.
Has it been a couple years?
Feels like it. Maybe it's only been a year. But it's like coming on this weird, it's got weird connotations with like people and places that get quote unquote canceled. And I don't know. Like, I understand it probably gets a lot of engagement online and people talking. But to me, it's one of those trends that is just doesn't make me feel good. It doesn't make me want to go to your place. And like, if you've done it and you're a small business owner or a past podcast guest, it's fine.
I only saw it for the first time just a few weeks ago, so I didn't realize it had been around that long. And the first time I was like, okay, that's funny. But then once you've seen it, you've seen it. And so then
you're kind of like, yeah. Or sometimes you see it and you're like, oh God, what bad thing happened?
Yeah.
And then it's like, actually nothing.
Right. Don't toy with me like that.
Yeah. Don't be like, oh no, we're so sorry that our deals are too good. Like it's giving a little, I think it happened.
You're making it sound fun though, I got to say.
Well, I think there was like a lot of national.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of national brands that can get away with it that did it.
Maybe it's because there's some stuff out there we really would like people to apologize for, and it's never coming, and so it feels like a tease.
That's what I was trying to get at with the cancel culture thing. I don't know. That's really a personal preference. Okay, what are you over, Stacey? I feel like I know what you're going to say is your next.
And I'm only saying this because I have been going to new places, and it's still happening, and I will. Well, I'm talking about plastic everything. Obviously there are, some places where, a plastic fork is going to make sense. But like if I am in your restaurant and I'm sitting at a table, especially if you have a server, like if there's a server,
table service.
Table service, like I don't want a plastic fork. And like I know like the whole plastic baskets with the paper, I don't care about that. That's totally fine. But like the cutlery, I want a real fork. But I have noticed, like with like salad places and yogurt bowl places and whatever, everything
lot of bowls.
It just comes packed to go.
Yeah.
And I mean, this goes beyond that too. A lot of places, it just comes in styrofoam, whether you're eating it or not, or a plastic bowl. And I just want us to get away from that. And I don't know if we're to blame. I mean, maybe all the door dashing and whatever restaurants just realize you're going to get it to go anyway, so that's just how we're going to pack it. But
they're not going to bother to also have the real stuff. I mean, we're understanding that, but also saying, we don't like it.
Right. So back to like juiced what you needed, which I said before, it's like doing all the right things. So everything in there is real. And let's say you don't finish everything and you want to get it to go. Then they do have really nice, environmentally friendly, like cardboard stuff, or they have the reusable glass or whatever. I mean, there's a way to do it, but I just feel like, are you really saving money giving me a plastic fork than if you were just had real forks and like we're washing them? And I don't want to go all into it again, but I don't know if it's us or if it's them, but I want us to get back to like real stuff, sitting in restaurants with real people.
It's just part of this whole big swirl of like, oh, we need to go to the third places. We need to meet each other in person. If we talk about dating, like we get really, really into this, like people need to get out and like have human experiences and not have everything be so virtual and to go and touchless.
Yeah.
We don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah. Like, so in Italy, for example, I mean, like the coffee culture there, I mean, it's like, it's all happening inside cafes, whether you're just standing there, drinking it real fast and walking away. You do not see people with their big coffee cups and their to go, and everything in Italy has to be environmentally friendly just by law.
Yeah.
And so it's just not the takeout culture, and anything that is like takeout has to be completely like biodegradable. So we could learn a few things. Now in Rome, I did see a few like Go cups, and I was like, oh God, Americans are, it's the opposite effect where we're having like a negative effect on Roman culture. But let's go inside and sit down.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
Let's go inside and sit down.
That's what I want to do.
I think that your point about, because I was thinking about this yesterday with the news this week that Tsunami and Cooper Young is going to close, and Chef Ben has gone online and said that it's just not a feasible business model anymore. And that made me really sad. But then, I mean, we are constantly talking about new restaurants opening. We've had a lot of conversations with people over the last year on Soundbites, and Mary Oglesby and Paul Gilliam of No Comment and Fawn and Cameo have talked about like business cycles for restaurants, and the Hard Times Deli guys have talked about the business cycle. They're not specifically, we're talking about Tsunami or anything, but businesses, I mean, 28 years is a long time, but it's still really sad. And I know that you have a lot of connections to Tsunami, and I lived in the neighborhood for many years too. So how are you feeling? Are you okay?
It was like such a gut punch, like the thaw finally happened, and then like the video and like his face, and it was just really, I didn't really see it coming. It was really sad. My oldest son, Satchel, worked there for 7 years. He started as a dishwasher and moved his way up to the salad station. He made the bread, and they really like raised him there, and they consider him family, and it's just, and really good friends with Colleen, and our kids grew up together. We did all kinds of fundraisers there for the school. Colleen is Ben's former wife, and she did a lot of the design there, and it's just like, it's such a great place, and the food is so good, and Ben's such a awesome guy, and everyone there. I mean, 28 years, it's an institution.
It's an institution. I know so many people and I have so many acquaintances and friends and people that work there. And like, even if they went on to work somewhere else, like it's just sort of essential link in the chain of the Memphis restaurant scene that like the video also made me really sad. But I'm hoping that there's something good and bright or restful or something for Ben on the horizon. Like,
yeah.
We've seen people do things like Ryan Trim closed Sweetgrass, and now he, has a chain of Sunrise restaurants and partnerships with Central Barbecue, and they're going strong. So, like,
yeah, you never know.
You never know what the next chapter is going to be. Not to be Susie Sunshine. Anyone who knows me knows that I really am not. That's not really my jam.
Yeah, well, Ben hasn't let out any hints about what he might do next, so we'll just have to wait and see. But, he is a chef, and maybe he'll take some time off and then come back and do something else. We'll just have to see. But he really, he put his heart and soul into that place. And, I just think to be able to, I hope it's just getting flooded with love and, that restaurant.
Thank you.
But that's the thing, like you're closing in 2 weeks and it's going to be packed and everyone's going to be there and it's going to be amazing. And I'm so thankful he's giving us an opportunity to go have one last meal.
Instead of being like, we close tomorrow.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to hugging his neck. And it's really sad, but it's been an amazing place.
Yeah. Thank you, Ben. If you randomly happen to listen or someone listen, we appreciate you.
Tell Ben we love him.
Yeah. Thus is the way of the world, but we really appreciate it. Thank you for sharing that. I love also hearing all the stories and all the connections that people have. Memphis still is a big, small town. Okay. For real, that is all the time we have. Thank you so much, Stacey. This is Stacey Greenberg, our good friend. We're going to have you on more this year, talk about more things.
Okay.
Next time we're going to talk about trends we love.
Trends we love.
Trends we're obsessed with. Trends we just can't get enough of.
Our top 5 favorite things of all time.
My top 5 favorite things to complain about in Memphis this weekend. Who knows what we're going to talk about this year, but definitely subscribe to Soundbites on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, or listen at jillianmemphian.com. Then you won't miss whatever weird stuff Stacey and I and whoever else comes on talks about in the future. You can also listen on WYXR Radio Thursdays at 11. That's it. Goodbye.
Bye.